All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a bit of a gander, shall we? Let's press the button that actually brings the music in. That should work. There we go. And now let's press the button that shows the game. Holy shit, the technology. It's incredible, isn't it? Okay. Absolver. I've had code for a week. I've been avoiding up to this point because this is primarily an online game. Which means, if there isn't a player base because the game's not out yet, it's kind of hard to play it. There's a 4-hour or so campaign, quote-unquote, which basically just constitutes a tutorial. It is primarily an online title. I was told by the PR it's more likely that we'll have players maybe on the day before launch, which would be now. So I'm gonna give it a shot. If this doesn't work out, then I've got a bunch of other stuff, like Rock of Ages 2, which is really good and funny. We could do that. Oh, of course we download the damn Destiny 2 beta like everyone else in the fucking universes. It's like, it's not that I don't care about Destiny 2, it's just that I don't care about Destiny 2 until it's done. I don't really care about the beta. We already know the PC port seems fine outside of the crashing, so I'm just gonna wait, and looter shooters aren't really my thing anyway, you know that. So let's have a little bit of a look, shall we? See what's going on with this. Okay, first things first, there's something weirdly wrong with my controller. No, actually it's working properly now, okay. Or not. Huh. Either my controller's busted or the game is. Using the analog stick to select and it's sort of scrolling me down when I don't want to, which is a bit weird. Yeah, that's a strange one. Hopefully it doesn't do that in the actual game itself, otherwise that'll be a problem. I've been told this is more of a controller game than a keyboard and mouse, so I think I'm gonna stick to that principle. Okay. Oh yeah, so you get to sort of choose a basic fighting style, and then you can learn a bunch of other stuff, and apparently there's combat decks. You can completely customize your fighting style. It's pretty in-depth. There's a lot to go on. I have a reviewer's guide just because it is that damn complex, but we'll see. I'll try the controller first and then see where it goes from there. Okay, what would I prefer? So that's parrying, that's absorbing, and this is... Oh, I like a more dexterous style, I think, so I'll kind of go with that, I think. And... Death Pocket Tipper! We'll see what happens. Yeah, and if the controller's busted, I'll switch back to mouse and keyboard. I don't use my controller very often, you probably noticed that. Impressions? I mean, I just loaded the thing. I have no idea what my impressions are yet. You have to give me a little bit of time. I have a feeling Lugaru and also Overgrowth, you know, that 10-year game that still isn't out yet, probably had a lot to do with the development of this. Yeah, Overgrowth's still in active development. It's just a very long development cycle. Very long. I do like the art style. Sort of pastel. Less... It's not abstract per se. I don't know much about art, because I'm gonna say it's impressionist, and I actually have no idea if it is or not, because I can't remember art. Oh god, when was the last time I studied art? 15 years old? Yeah, so... Fucking 18 years ago. I am old! And will die at some point, as will we all. Okay, controller seems fine at the moment, so it's probably just a menu bug. Is it just... You shut up. Don't get me started. You know, as much as streaming the popular thing is easy, and I could get 3 times the viewers streaming the popular thing, I don't need that. And I've got... You've probably noticed lately, I've got very passionate about my role as a curator. You know, and I'm kind of quite serious about that. So that's my thing at the moment. All right, hold and lock to change targets. Yep, so that's how that works. Okay. Apparently, there's a bunch of counter frames and combo frames that quite a few streamers sort of haven't been using because the tutorial maybe isn't that clear. I do have a limited amount of fighting game experience, not a huge amount. But a little. I think if you hit during the yellow frame, my understanding is that the combo will go off slightly faster and it will be either much harder to interrupt or actually impossible to interrupt. So there's definitely a pretty severe timing element. I know quite a few games already have that, but Absolver's quite clear about that frame. It's like, yeah, this is the frame. This is the one you have to hit it on. All right. So you have 4 different stances you can change into. So if you get the lock, you hold right trigger while locked, and then... Okay. Well, first things first, I've got a damn lock, don't I? Okay, so that's the lock. Ah, yeah, I see it. So... Yeah, you can switch sort of between the stances that way. And I believe you can sort of do it mid-combo? Alternate attacks allow you to change stance. Right, so that'll change into a kind of a sideways stance, and then I can change back to that. It sort of makes things a lot smoother. Yeah, I think I hit during the golden frame there, which probably made it do a bit more damage. It's not Arkham-like at all. It's more For Honor. Much more For Honor. You know, it's essentially a fighting game for all intents and purposes, which Arkham certainly is not. It's interesting that, you know, you pick your stance and then by doing that alternate attack, you immediately end up changing it. You've got that sort of dodge and such. You know, the chaining is relatively smooth if you do it correctly. It's interesting that it hasn't sort of advanced the tutorial yet. Makes me think I just need to, you know, walk past this damn thing. Breaking attacks. Okay, so... Alright. That's a nice little way to introduce the concept, have you break through a door with it. So if you're in that stance and then do Y, that just breaks through. Okay, good to know. I wonder if that's an effective teaching method or not. I still think the tutorial for Guilty Gear XX Revelator is probably the best fighting game tutorial that exists, because it teaches by allegory instead of trying to teach directly, which I think for some learners is better. Not all. Yeah, so you got like that big hold down feint. God, I'm not going to be able to learn most of this. I can tell you this already. I think this is stuff you'll probably learn through practice. Guard also allows you to cancel attack if pressed immediately after attacking. Okay, cool. So, maybe you gotta press it immediately after attacking. Yeah, okay, so that's what happens. If there's a feint, there's kind of a black cloud. Yeah, it seems like, if you were familiar and comfortable using keyboard and mouse with For Honor, you'd probably be comfortable with this too. I was not. I definitely found that it was much better to use a controller, but that was very much personal preference. I know there were definitely people a lot better than me that used keyboard and mouse, no problem. The issue that I mainly had with it is the mouse was too sensitive. So there was the possibility that I'd end up doing the wrong move and switching the stance that I didn't actually want. Whereas with an analog stick, you don't have quite as much risk of that. I wonder what those two little icons are. Yeah, the friendly fire aspect is nice. It'll be interesting to see finding multiple opponents and seeing how you can bait them into hitting each other. That sounds kind of fun. I'm still not clear 100% on the stance system, because like you have a stance system, but then when you hit Y, you're switching a stance anyway, so I don't necessarily understand the purpose of being in it. I think it's stance and then you only use X, because if you use anything else, it's going to switch you out of that stance. I don't want to open it, I want to break it. Let me break it. You know what would break, you know what would open it? A large kick, maybe. Find and defeat Salon. Okay, yeah, because I heard there's like a couple of bosses and things like that, but the whole point being for the most part with this game that you end up meeting online people and then fighting them and stealing their techniques and learning from them and all that kind of thing. Which, you know, is kind of neat in and of itself. But simultaneously, obviously, if you don't have the player base for it, it's not going to work that well. And people that are more interested in the single-player experience are going to be a bit let down by it. But it is a fighting game. We still have to remember that it is actually a fighting game. Yeah, so there's the feint. So I can feint into that and then immediately go into something else, like kind of like that. So if somebody tries to evade that, I can catch them quick with the follow-up. Okay, so you meditate on stats, and my understanding is you learn fighting techniques for your deck from fighting other people. So whatever they have, you can learn it. Alright. Well, I mean, strength is always good. Dexterity, I'm using mostly dex stuff right now. Yes, filthy dex build, blah, blah, blah. I don't play Dark Souls, so I don't even know why I'd use that. I don't know what that is. There is equipment in the game. I know you can pick up weapons, but I don't necessarily know if you keep them. But there is definitely gear. Different masks and things like that. I love the art style. The art style is excellent. Definitely into it. So far, fighting feels pretty fluid. And I was watching some streams, I was a little concerned about that, but I have a feeling it's mostly just down to the fact that the game maybe doesn't teach you that well, and a lot of people don't have much fighting game experience. I kind of don't either, but I've learned bits and pieces over the course of the years. Yeah, so you can sort of avoid by using your right stick, so you can jump and things like that. Obviously, my style is a dodge rather than absorb or parry. So that's one of the 3 styles you can pick from the start, and then you can customize your style, I think, almost completely. And you can learn other styles as well. That is it's a very interesting stylized fire effect. Like, it's obviously like a low frame one, but it works. It still looks cool, even though it's like, that's a low frame animation. But it's like, oh, that's kind of cool and stylized, and fits with the aesthetic quite well. There we go, we opened the door. Holy shit. Just incredible skill on display at the moment. I hope you're all impressed, you better be. Motion blur? Good question. Maybe. Let's check. If there is, it ain't in that menu. What the fuck is VSync doing on? Get off, you bastard. Oh, and now it's gone full screen. That was not my intent. I'm mostly streaming windowed mode. It's easier if I need to change things with the streaming software and I don't have to hold tab. It could be under post-processing. Let's get this up to... Ooh, those shadows are a little excessive on Ultra, aren't they? I actually prefer them on high, I think. Keep the texture quality up. Effects... I don't see why my computer can handle that. I'm a little concerned about the fact that there doesn't seem to be that motion blur option. Also, every time I change it, it keeps going out of windowed mode, which is weird. Don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, I haven't noticed much. Like, I don't think it's It's not super noticeable, but I think you might be right. I think there's a mild motion blur on there. Oh yes, the Door Guardian. Ah, so... There we go. Just kind of get the follow-up on the charge. So get out of the way. Ow! He kicked me in the face. Still trying to get the timing. Oof! Yeah. There's some pretty severe impact to a lot of these attacks. Which is good, you know? It's a tricky thing to do, I think, in third person. Your animation quality's gotta be on point. And your visual and your oral feedback's gotta be good too, which this game does seem to have. What are the two crystals hiding? I don't know. I noticed something under meditation that was something about shards. I have a feeling that's probably related to that. You see, increases the quantity of tension caught and stored in a shard when performing a successful defensive ability. I'm going to assume it's probably got something to do with that. I will say the attribute point upgrades and distributions are kind of dull. But you're probably well aware I've been on this crusade for if you're going to do upgrades, make them interesting instead of marginal. And that's going to be a theme probably for a while. When I get hung on something, I tend to stay there for quite some time. We should be used to that by now. Oops, a few physics errors there. I believe release date for this is tomorrow. Man, it's a busy day tomorrow. You know what? Mario & Rabbids, XCOM 2 War of the Chosen, Absolver. Bloody hell. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be a video. And of course, you have Rock of Ages today, I think. I would not want to be a video gamer about now. It's nasty. Ah, hello, Devolver. You know, I really shouldn't let you subscribe because that's technically bribery. Oh, yeah, if I recall correctly, didn't I donate your subscription to Charity Water every month the last time I figured out you'd subscribed? Yeah. That would be why. I was gonna say, we did cover this. Alright, what have you got to say? Yes, but I'd like to punch you. Wouldn't that be more fun? When you are safe, you can enter meditation to practice your combat to deck. Alright. I will show you my combat to deck, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Mario. It's the first Mario game I've ever looked forward to, because I've never been a console guy, and I've definitely not been a Super Nintendo or original Nintendo guy. The first console I played was a Mega Drive, and it was at my neighbor's house, so I was always Sega. Didn't really have much experience with Nintendo, so, and I've never really liked platformers, so Mario's never really been all that interesting. So to give them a Tactics Mario is cool. If I was around the Super Nintendo era and picked up Super Mario RPG, I probably would have been into that. But at the time, you know, it's not so much of a thing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be nice. I'll have, you know, War of the Chosen will be, you know, the big kind of hardcore tactics game on the PC, and then I'll have my portable fun game for when I want to chill. Should be good. Yeah, so the moves sort of end you in different stances, logically, which makes sense. Because if they didn't, well, it would look really weird. The whole point is supposed to be kind of fluid. Let's have a look at this combat deck and see what I can do to it. This reminds me a little bit of... Oh god, what was the name of the damn game? What was the name of that bloody game? Remember Me, yes. Which, ironically, nobody remembers. Or appropriately, perhaps. It reminds me of that. In the way that you sequence your attacks, it's just, you know, better than that. Yeah, being able to finish in that kick would be quite good. But I've got the kick. So I have the kick equipped on alternate, but I could instead combo it into something, which is okay. I can see that being useful. So most of these are sort of to the right-hand side, I guess. It is a bit like God Hand, yes, very much so. That's a good comparison, except it doesn't have the weird tank controls. But, like I said, God Hand was amazing, and it's a shame that it hasn't had more attention. If you... Well, you can get it on PS4, can't you? You can get it, it's a PS2 Classic or whatever, you can get it, and God Hand, by the way, still holds up, and you should totally play it, and it's actually very playable on a PS2 emulator. It works just fine, so if you don't have a console, you could play it there. And it works just fine. God Hand is fucking phenomenal. There's nothing quite like it. Let's see what we can finish in that would sort of make sense. It would be nice to make a little sequence. Well, maybe that sort of lower kick. We don't use that. That might be alright. There we go. So we've got a sequence that is sort of a higher kick into a lower kick. I can see that being useful. So you got those little attack sequences. So these are not quite as complicated as they look from the outset. And then I can sort of give that a try. You have this sort of little lower kick there, and you can see you can sort of very clearly transition from one to the other. And you have to be in the right stance to use the guard break. Whatever that might be, and I can't quite remember how you do that. But, of course, you go back to the combat deck to check that. So the guard break, by the looks of it, is... It's an alternate attack, I guess, if you're in the left stance, and it transitions you to the right stance, I think. Let's see if I'm correct on that. Yes, I am. Okay, so that's how that works. So you start in one stance, and that will affect which alternate attack it takes you into. Which, in that case, is the big guard-breaking kick. Yeah, it's definitely going to take a lot of practice, I think, to get into anything other than just button bashing, which is kind of what I'm doing right now. I think your basic thing to learn is, like, when to dodge, how to use your stamina correctly, and making sure that you're hitting the combo frames to get the faster attacks out. And then you start to learn stances and shit, which will probably take quite some time to get right. Attack buttons wise, there's 2, but you've got 4 different stances to do those attacks out of. So it does pretty much a different attack per stance. And you also have, if you hold down an attack button, that's a different attack. You've got then your dodges, you have your cancel feints, which go like that. And A doesn't do anything. I haven't seen the throw yet. That may very well be a different stance or a different style or something, I guess. Yeah, so, you know, you get a little bit of a chance to... Oh, Jesus. Yeah. That, I assume, is the yellow frame is the perfect attack. I'm going to assume. Clawing, definitely not. No, I definitely don't feel that. I've got both hands in a standard stick position. I'm not clawing at all, which is good. No throws or grapples. Huh. That's an interesting choice. Timing already depends on the attack, yeah. So you hit it at the right time, it's going to give you a faster recovery. So it's going to give the guy less time to react. And then once you get powers, you can use shards and tension for that. You can use a weapon. There's a disarm attack. Okay. Yeah, and obviously that stuff's kind of irrelevant right now. Yeah, so you can very clearly see the attack comes out faster if you hit that goal frame correctly. But if you don't, it doesn't. Yeah, so there's the 3 done perfectly, which is much faster than it would be regularly. And if we switch that stance, then you get the block. And that's the kick combo that I made. You've got to be in that left stance, and then X again gives you the lower. Okay, that makes sense. I think the deck building aspect to it will help because there's a lot to learn here, and you'll sort of learn it over time. And as you slowly customize, that helps you gradually learn systems rather than just being overwhelmed by them. I'm not in a school yet. I don't know what all that's about. You can totally play with a keyboard and mouse. It's just, for a game like this, I do prefer controllers. There's nothing stopping you. As for PS4 support, I mean, Devolver's in the channel right now. That's something you want to be addressing to them, as opposed to me. So if we switch stance, then I can do the nice big attack there. There we go. I haven't quite got the whole... the target switching does require a 2-button combination, which does make it a little trickier. There you go, one down. Nice thing is I sort of charged up right up and to a quick follow-up. Just let me take that down quite easily. Again, it feels good, which is important. I was a bit concerned watching some streams that it wouldn't. But I think a lot of that is down to the fact that streamers were just picking it up for the first time and they hadn't really practiced it yet. Obviously, I'm having to say a similar issue, but I'm definitely getting the hang of it. I'm getting the vibe. I think having a less detailed art style does help people focus on the action. If you have a lot of visual busyness on the screen, it can detract from your ability to focus on what's going on, especially during combat where you have to pay attention to fine detail to figure out which direction something is coming from. So I think an art style like this not only helps you keep your frame rate up, but it also does assist in keeping an eye on what's happening. You know, you'll notice some fighting games have very visually busy backgrounds, and that actually does make the game harder to keep track of. It's sort of why training stage is quite popular in some games, because it's often a very... One, it loads faster than most stages, and two, it's very simple, so you never get distracted by something in the background. Ooh, players enter the area. So I guess we could, like, fight them, or not fight them, or... Good question. I don't know what this is. Let's find out. It's an altar of some sort. So there's a set of combat trials. Looks like there's a social aspect to this. Huh. This a person? It is a person. Can I fight you? Should I fight you? I don't know how to socially interact with you. I'm sorry. Okay. I don't know. They said follow you. Alright. Might be a dev. Who knows? Ow! That's not following. That's punching. Alright then. Fighting it is. Check out my new kick combo. Or not. There you go. You didn't expect that one, did you? Let's, try to fake him out a little bit. There we go. Oh, no, didn't quite connect. That's unfortunate. We did get the successful dodge there. In the back. I don't know what that was. It's a power of some sort, I guess, which I currently do not have. Oh, come on! That's not fair. Let me try and deal with this guy first. Will you stop it? I'm trying to kill this fellow. He's running. He's legging it. No. No. We've had quite enough of that, thank you. How about I just punch you then, if you're going to be like that? I don't know where this bloody bastard went now. You see? God damn it. Yay! I killed somebody. I'm not sure if that was a good thing or not. I don't know what that was, but I don't like the look of it. He revived him. That's not very nice. Well, I guess I'm fighting two now. All right. Well, that was a really ow fucking ow. Okay. So I think we've figured out that somebody knows combos and is much higher level than me. It's okay. They're fighting each other. Yeah, you get on with that. I've got shit to do. I guess if I go into meditation, I'm probably out of combat. One of the best players in the game. Certainly didn't look like it. But hey. I beat his friend, so I'll take that. Yeah, I wonder if you can sort of stay out of combat. I'm going to assume you probably can't, unless you meditate. No. You attacked me first. Why on earth would I want to cooperate with you? That's absolutely not the way to go about things. I don't really know what the process of cooperation is. I mean, for what purpose? Because if it's to fight a boss, I can fight a boss myself. And you can go offline if people are... Alright. Well, yeah, but it doesn't seem like there's much of a single player to this, so is there really any point? So I don't really... I am not 100% sure what the point of the game is, other than to fight people, level up, and get new abilities. Also, I guess I didn't really learn much from fighting and beating that guy. It's not an MMO. It's one of those, sort of zone instance-based, you encounter people naturally along the way kind of games. Looks like that lets you unlock a fighting school, I guess. So this is probably going to put me up against a person. I suppose, assuming there is a person. Bear in mind, this game is not out yet, so we are seeing a much smaller pool of players than you would expect. I don't know. It seems like a combo of the two, instanced and pop in, pop out. And, of course, there are bosses and enemies of sorts. Looks like this guy sort of has a drunken fighting style. Which is kind of cool. I'm hoping a lot of this is skill-based and not stats-based, you know? Although, I have kind of punched the shit out of this guy and not done much damage, so I'm going to make the assumption, at least in terms of bosses, that there's definitely a fairly vital stats element. Yeah, he's got a drunken fist kind of style, which I would love to steal, because that's fun style. As to how much you can steal, that's a different question entirely. I think I'm gonna lose, because this guy's obviously stronger than me. And I'm also not very good at dodging. There we go. So that's the lost profit. Oh, it also killed another guy, apparently. So what's the penalty for dying? I wonder. There's progress and skills if you don't win a fight. Okay. So... definitely a penalty for it. Yeah, it's mostly medium and streamers. The game is not out till tomorrow, so... Alright, let's, maybe give him another bash, shall we? Well, that wasn't a great start. Oh, there's another person here. Let's see if they actually help, or... oh, Jesus. It's a serious beating we just took. Oh, he has a weapon. Well, that's not helpful at all. Yeah, this is not gonna go well. Oh, there is a heal? Alright, wasn't aware of that. The Joril does maybe have a few things lacking from it, I'd say. Although if I looked at the UI, it would have probably been a little more obvious. Sure, whatever. Because At the moment, I'm not beating this guy at all. Do have to be a little bit careful with cooperation because I think friendly fire is still a thing in that. Yes, very much is. I'm liking my kick low kick combo. This seems to be working pretty well. Yeah, so apparently as you evade particular moves, you do learn bits about them. And he's got his weapon out. Trying to get the right stance for my unblockable kick. There we go, he went down. Can I have his weapon now? Neat. Apparently there's a durability system of some description involving this thing. And you can put it away. Although I can't remember what the button is for that. So now beat the guy. Again, if this guy's very experienced, I don't think I'm going to beat him. The only reason I beat him is because I had this guy helping me. Let's be frank. That... Oh, I accidentally acted hostile to him, which is not what I meant to do. Honestly. So if you go into meditation, you throw your weapon down, I'm going to assume you pick it back up again. Yeah, you're right, it's PvP guide. I'm going to assume, as a result, that he's probably better than me. It makes a decent degree of sense. Encounters... Yeah, so... I get you can run a school? As to what that does, I'm not... Again, I'm not sure about a lot of this stuff. Like, this just seems sort of like a big open area. Yeah, so you can throw the weapon down. You can't holster it, I suppose? Schools have certain moves. Makes sense. I haven't learned anything new moves-wise yet, I don't think. I saw some skill bars go up. I still need to do that combat trail thing, don't I? Which I meant to do, and it never happened. Is that a character I... Oh, that's... okay. So I could punch the crap out of him. If I wanted. Clear fight. We are now in fight. Is there any reason why I couldn't just punch the crap out of him right now? Other than obviously the honor thing, you know? Maybe don't want to burn quite as much stamina there. Ow. 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 Lots of ow. So my healer is not very strong. Okay, good to know. Probably shouldn't have let him do it. Ow. I just love the little ow. That's adorable. Ah. Definitely just moving out of the way of a lot of attacks seems like a fairly effective strategy. Oh, and he took me down. He was almost dead. I fucked that up. Alright, I guess I'm back up. Well, didn't really go well on the whole duel to death thing, did it? Probably should have just picked up the weapon and murdered him with it. So here's the thing that I'll say right now is that I'm definitely feeling like a lack of direction. Like, if I didn't go and pick up the reviewer guide right now, I wouldn't really know what I was doing. Or where to go, or what exactly the whole plan was. The tutorial seems a bit more freeform than it should be. Which concerns me a bit, because people will be like, well, what do you do then? Like, where are you going? What's the purpose of everything here? What exactly is supposed to be happening? How do I progress? That's the feeling that I sort of get at the moment. Oh, okay. Looks like you die from falling. Good to know. Which is a bit of a concern. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a clue. I'm fighting goods, and I'm supposed to be trying to learn new moves, but I don't know how to get them. I fought some guys in PvP, I beat a boss, didn't really get much from it. It's like, you know, and then what, you know? It's like, it even felt like Dark Souls had, like, more direction initially, right off the bat. I'm getting things. Okay, I got a piece of loot. That's nice. Looks like, well, that's just worse in every way. Okay. Good to know. Not exactly the first piece of loot you want, really, is it? You know, I've seen these whole combat trial things, and I've tried to do one. I haven't got one yet. Maybe that's the next thing I need to do. And God, there's 3 of them. And it's rough as a result. Okay. I do like the fact that the multi-person combat seems to flow pretty well. Not a lot of games do that very well. This game seems to maybe have a bit of a better grasp of it. I mean, I could just murder you with a sword. That probably works too. So you've got the weapon style as well, as you can clearly see. That's weird. I don't know why that did that. This is like maybe a desync of some sort? I don't know. Combat trials accused of PvP. Right. Good to know. Ooh, I accidentally hit. I mean, it's really easy to hit people by accident. I don't know if you've noticed. It's actually really easy to do that. Well, I got some gloves. That's nice. And they are worse in every way. Okay, then. They're actually not. They do lighten you up very slightly, but not enough to actually be useful. Okay, then. Go fight PvE bosses to unlock stuff. I mean, we already fought one. Do I have to go back and fight it again? Fighting NPCs is easy enough, but... So I don't really learn much by defeating them, only by dodging their shit. Is that correct? Because I can just see me sort of farming that for hours and just dodging, which isn't very interesting. Punching people is more interesting. And it does seem like you don't learn all the time. Oh, okay, so you do get stuff from defeating people, alright. So it's not just from dodging. Yeah, so you can see I'm getting stuff. It's giving me little indicators about certain moves by the looks of it. What is that? It's a can. It's got trousers in it. Are they good trousers or bad trousers? A good question. Mostly bad trousers. I mean, I can up my ability a little bit, but not by much. They seem very marginal. Yeah, I can go to 105 Hz. There doesn't seem to be a frame cap. Not at least a meaningful one, anyway. I should probably dodge past them and grab the sword and then hit them with that, right? That would probably help significantly. Maybe not let myself get hit constantly. That would also help too. Oh, he disarmed it. That's neat. Ow. Yay! No! That was all so good up until that point. So I did beat a boss, so does that mean I can get through one of these doors? Defeat the marked ones. I don't know who those are. Or what they are. More of those shoes, which I'm not gonna use. I can heal. I have the upgrade for it. Well, you start with it. It's just not very big heal. Okay. That is probably not... oh, alright. Yeah, that's a problem. And there's 4 of them now, which I thought there was only 2. I shouldn't be here. Isn't there a map on the door? I don't know. Like I said, the game doesn't explain much. I don't know any of these things without breaking out the reviewer guide. Which obviously is not going to be something that most people have access to. Yeah. I want to grab the sword, but it didn't let me. Maybe interact with that instead. Sure, keep putting points into decks, I suppose. We had another pair of gloves, didn't we? Tier gloves. Much better protection. They weigh me down a bit, but honestly, it barely affects my damage, so am I supposed to care? It's so marginal. I guess I might as well wear them. I want to grab the sword, not sit down. Why is it the same button? Well, that's the boss again. I guess if I keep beating him, I'm gonna get things. At this point, who bloody knows? Christ. And he hits like a truck, I don't know if you noticed. So I don't think I'm gonna be beating him anytime soon. And if I follow her up, I can get the leech. Ow. Helps that I have some assistance from this guy. Assuming I don't accidentally hit him, which has happened before. I need that guard break. Can't remember which one it's on. It's not that. It's that. Ow. Fuck off. Oh, he's got his sword out now. Well, that's lovely. So that ends up catching me on the back arc. Oh, I don't know what he just did to me, but it's probably not good. And he's at full HP again? What? Is that because of a host migration or something? Because that coincided with somebody connecting to the area. I mean, you do have the option to block if you pick the style which has block. I picked the style that has dodge, not block. There is a guard. I mean, you can. You just hold left trigger like that. So there's basically there's a parry, an absorb, and a dodge, depending on which fighting style you've picked. But you still have block. It's just it doesn't make sense to use block when dodge is your style and is more effective. Good solid hit in the back. Maybe I can grab his sword now and then get at him with it. Yep. There we go. Beat the shit out of him. And I got a level up and stuff, but... Huh. I like the system. I'm finding this really aimless. Which isn't really helping. It's like, hey, go look at the thing. I mean, we've been down here before. We fought the dudes before. We've fought that boss twice already. It's like, cool, there's a slide. I mean, I haven't learned a single new move yet. And I don't know how I do. Other than, hey, you learn them from others. Yes. But how? Got another stat. I don't even know if I've learned any move yet. I'm going to assume not. If I go to edit my deck, I'm probably going to see very little. Here's the thing, though. If you want people to learn a game, you can't rely on the best player in the game guiding them around it. That's not going to work for anybody. That's fine for a streamer. That is not in any way fine for a regular player. And this game is out tomorrow? At least the review embargo is tomorrow. So that's not an answer. I'm trying not to be obtuse and stupid here. It's just I'm very concerned that the game has a pretty serious lack of initial direction and new user experience to the point where it's just obtusely confusing as to what you're supposed to do other than punch people. I've unfortunately now managed to... Yeah, I don't want to apply whatever I just did. Yeah, so that's the sequence with weapons in. No, I don't want to do that. I wanted to unequip the sword. There we go. I assume I just haven't learned anything new up to this point. Not that I know of, anyway. Yeah, you can see, like... That's going to take a while to get there. And say, hey, I've seen the back fist a lot, so I've got maybe 10% of it. Yeah, I talked to the NPC earlier about, bosses and such, and apparently there was a map on the door and all this other stuff. There's obviously loot here. We could keep going this way. I'm also not bothering to check the loot anymore because it's so marginal in its upgrades that I can't be asked to equip any of it. A single dodge gives you about 1/6 of a move if you succeed, but you can't dodge backwards. Really? Have I not successfully dodged anything up to this point without dodging backwards? Because that seems a little odd. I've been dodging constantly. Huh. You bring out the map. Again, these would all be useful things to know in a tutorial. Like, how are people supposed to learn a game without 4,000 people in a chat telling them how it works? That's a little bit of a concern for people, right? You would think. Well, the basic grasp of how the fighting works is just more of a case of, well, what now? Look out! Yeah, that is B though, isn't it? That's the avoidability, or am I actually hitting the wrong button here? I hope not. I'll have to probably double check the controls just to make sure. Yeah, dodge is B. Guard is what everything has. B is, what do you mean B symbol dash? It says dodge on the control list. How can that be that? Oh dear. There's the lock, yeah, weapon drawer, weapon sheath, yep, all no attacks, we're all on that, yep. So, you know, I get a little frustrated with games that are a bit aimless. And I'm definitely experiencing that. So that would slow me down a wee bit. And reduce my damage by 0.2. Which I actually guess I don't care about, really. Unless there's someone else in this area punching people, which I'd quite like to be involved in. Oh, hello. This guy seems like he's a bit tougher. Well, he already killed the guy. Wasn't that a dodge? Because that looked like a dodge. The dodge backwards wasn't a dodge. Oh, for fuck's sake. Ah! Yeah, I haven't successfully dodged any of these. That's a fair point, yeah, and dodging backwards doesn't count. That was a really bad timing for that. Super bad timing, in fact. It's just sort of almost a, I think he parried that. Oh yeah, these guys are much harder. Alright. Right stick. Right stick stance changing, isn't it? Okay. This is getting to a point of being a little confusing in many ways. I must have misread that in the tutorial then. Because I can, and it even says in the controls, dodge is B. But avoid, I guess, is different to dodge. Because it's style specific. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I can see sort of what's going wrong there. So, the right stick is giving me the. You see the dodges right there. Those are my dodges, but they look extremely similar to the other dodges. Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot more sense now. So I am actually learning the move. So I've been basically wasting my time up to this point by using B instead of that. Well, that's lovely. I kind of wish that hadn't been the case, but it is. And I might want to get my timing right on that. And if I do more of that... Oh, for fuck's... Come on! Ugh. Yeah, B moves you a lot more than the avoid does. You're getting the soulsy vibe of, hey, respawn, fight the thing again, certainly. And also the aimlessness of it. But it's like, I like the fighting system. There's no doubt about that. There is, outside of this obvious camera issue, because we're close to the terrain, the actual fighting is great. It's a case of, I need a motivation to fight. I need either progression or narrative. Either is... For fuck's sake. Either is fine. Okay. Yeah, it'll definitely take a lot more research and work to actually get anything of clarity together for critique. Because it's too much like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, and that really affects the experience kind of thing. And the game hasn't exactly taught me that well. It's taught me to fight, but not what the point of fighting is. So I have to figure that out until... God, this damn corner. And then I can actually talk about it. Until that point, it's not really fair to look at a game on any kind of formal level. When it is actually that... Oh, did I... you know what? I could probably just avoid them. Oh, there's more. Okay, never mind. And they are not friendly whatsoever. Not in the slightest, as it turns out. God damn it. Yeah, I think these guys are sort of beyond my level at the moment. I should probably... I wonder if there's an easy way to go kind of back to the hub area. I guess getting punched in the face is a good way to go. Let's see if there's a way to travel back easily. By the looks of it. I guess we're gonna have to run back. I know all about the yellow rhythm thing. That's not, you know, I learned that pretty quick. The problem with tutorial NPCs, obviously, is that they're not that well highlighted. So it's quite easy to miss them. I don't even know which way I'm going. Is there a map? Nope. Oh, it popped up, I think when we killed the boss, something popped up. But I don't remember beyond that. No fast travel and no map. Oh, lovely. My favorite combination. If you hadn't guessed that was sarcastic, I hate that. A map at the fire. Yeah, that involves finding the fire, and there's no map to the fire. Oh, why? Let's head back. Yeah, so back into this area. I'm already sort of getting the vibe that the Soulsy-like guys who are into the more obscure exploration aspect and remembering things are going to enjoy the game more than I will, and I'm not into that. God. Can't even beat these guys now. I was beating them easily earlier. What the hell happened? Doesn't seem like I'm even touching them now. Oh, God. Alright. Oh, scale with 11 on new moves. Great. Oh, that's at least being demonstrated quite effectively, isn't it? Question is, can we just leg it past these bastards? Probably not. We'll give it a shot, though. There's a lot of a stream audience, though, no doubt. People do like watching the Soulsy style of exploration. Oh, I actually didn't mean to do that. Sorry. This is one of the fires. Yeah, so this does have a map. I'm going to assume those red indicators are bosses? I mean, that would make sense, wouldn't it? I mean, we've already fought the same guy twice. I don't really want to go fight him again. But I'm not sure I really have a choice in the matter. And also, relative to the direction that I'm walking, I don't know where that is. I have to go back to the map and check, like, what? You point me in the direction I'm supposed to be going. It doesn't. Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, there is no yellow. It's all brown and red. Unless I've suddenly gone colorblind, which I'm not aware of. There was definitely a red. There's no directional prompt. I'm going to assume that it makes the most sense because we did see the boss up here. So I guess we're fighting this guy again. Again, that'll be the third time. The green dot is me. Yes, I know. I did recognize that point. Thank you. Oh, he's not here. Why? You have a spawn timer? What determined that? Who knows? No need to fight. Okay. I mean, what do I fight then? Okay. I guess we're gonna fight the other story boss? That involves actually finding him. Also, finding tutorial NPCs might be helpful, but obviously that quite clearly is not one of those things. Even the basic guys seem to be far better than I am now. Jesus. When did they suddenly learn to do that? Probably about the time when I learned how a void actually works. Ow! Oh, I mean, the map's definitely obtuse, and I'm pretty sure that's by design. Unfortunately, I don't like obtuse design. It bothers me. Am I going back this way again? I don't even know. Yeah, so supposedly the regular guys kind of do level up with you to some extent, and they learn new moves and such, which is better than I've done. I haven't managed to learn a single new move yet. This has taken me back to... Okay. It would really be nice to have a fast travel back to this area, because that would help me orient myself relative to what's going on. So this one assumes is the map. There's this 2-story mosses, and I guess the marked ones are probably the gold dudes. That pillar is the probably that doorway we saw? Maybe? But I don't know where I am relative to that. Oh. Maybe he has something to tell you. No, it's lore. Okay. Well, that's not helpful. Let's head this way and see what happens. You know, it'd be nice, an indicator that I was in that small square in the middle of the map. I don't know, like a green dot with maybe an arrow on it. That would be nice. Any specific artistic vision reason why you didn't? Oh, well, it looks like we're fine again. Oh, and there's like 5,000 of them. All right. Might want to watch out for that. I do love the way that the combat flows back from one person to another in a logical fashion, but doesn't feel like it's super cinematic Arkham, you're not really doing anything. That's good. I do appreciate that fact. I think the game's going to benefit a lot from it. And like I said, I love the combat. The combat feels great. I want more direction, at least initially. I don't mind the exploration a bit later on, but it really throws in the damn deep end. This area is just absolutely gorgeous. Love the design. There's a bunch of NPCs running up there because they can't figure out how to get down a bridge. You are currently in the final area of the game. I'm sorry, what? I'm in the final area of the game? How did I get there? How did I get there so fast? More the point. Where's the rest of it? The game is out tomorrow, yes? I'm not mistaken on that. Oh, stuff is slowing me down a bit. And it's giving me a bit more armor. Considering I'm getting beaten to hell right now, I'm thinking armor's probably more useful. Can I just kick her into the water? Because that would be kind of great. Ah! The answer is yes. I mean, what of the opening? Oh, okay, so people are just bullshitting me. Alright then. Yeah, I don't actually know why I keep listening to people in chat, because this game isn't actually out and most people have not played it. So, oh dear. We'll listen to anything Devolver Digital has to say is trustworthy, anything chat says is not. So let's maybe stick to that fact. I haven't quite got around to sort of combining block and dodge yet. Dodge, I'm at least avoid on the right trigger, I'm starting to get the hang of now. Block I'm basically not using, which is probably a bad idea. Armor up a little bit. I don't mind reducing my damage slightly to reduce the damage that's incoming slightly. I was like, well, I encountered this bit and that's sort of a dead end, really, isn't it? And I guess we're probably going to try and find a boss around here. Okay, yeah, so the point about Devolver being trustworthy, who they're deliberately rapscallions, yes, I get that. I understand the principle. I'm going to assume I'm probably not going to bullshit in this chat. That would be a bad idea. I do really need to sort of get the hang of doing that little kind of combo roundhouse that I've got going on there. Yeah, I can see I am getting the learning very much from the dodges. I just still haven't learned a new move yet, and you think, God damn it, does it really take this long? If I'm not sort of learning new moves and upgrading my deck on a regular basis, I probably would get pretty bored. Yeah, I can see the audience this game has. I'm probably not part of that audience. As much as I do like fighting and combat. Mostly just because of the very abstract and deliberately obfuscated nature of the game. I don't like following obscure maps. I find that irritating. Far as I know, I'm at that bridge area right there, and there's a story boss that way, but I somehow didn't encounter him at all. So I guess we have to go back. There's those 2 gold icons, which I think are those marked ones. Just, there's nothing wrong with having a mini-map, folks. Really, it's okay, you can do that. That doesn't make your game super casual, mobile, pay-to-win. You're allowed a mini-map. In fact, I'd really prefer you had one. I'm sort of heading back in this direction. I'll go and try and find the red guy again. Yeah, I get it. The PvP matches in the schools are the main part of it, but if you're going to introduce people into that, you do have to have a pretty solid PvE component, at least at the start. And I think it could probably do a better job of teaching you right now than what it currently does. I would really love that kick, if I could get it. Oh, she's kicking my ass. There's a pretty, like, large difference in difficulty. I think the appearance of them is kind of indicative of that. Like, the very colorfully clothed people are much tougher than the regular guys. Pretty sure that's on purpose. Oh, for Christ's sake. I think she interrupted the heal. Not very good at this, am I? I'll give it another try. Oh, alright. Let's give it another bash. I'll probably wrap this up fairly shortly. And maybe move on to Rock of Ages 2. This is definitely sort of becoming rapidly clear that this probably isn't my thing. Come on, you can dodge better than that. I also really should just block a bit. Blocking is relatively effective against most of this stuff, so maybe do a little bit more of it. She's got these sort of big sweeping kicks that are evidently best blocked rather than avoided. But it is draining. Oh nice, I got the feint in there. And then followed up with some pretty serious damage. That was good. Yeah, this strategy is working way better against this. I imagine, you know, avoiding is probably better against certain movesets than others. Come on. Yeah, there we go. We got her. Yeah, that made things a lot easier. Just don't rely permanently on avoid. Only use it for certain moves. Use block for the rest. Maybe took the style a little bit too literally. It's like, you should avoid everything. Like, no, actually, no. Blocking is good too. And you probably should do it. Oh god, I think there's 2 of them now. At least the colourful fellows. We'll give it a shot. Heal. I don't know how to heal. Is it meditation would heal, maybe? That would make sense. Speaking of, I should probably put some in vitality, shouldn't I? I've really been avoiding that up to this point. No, that doesn't do a thing. How do you heal? Other than using that ability, which is mostly a leech. Oh, you do use the ability. Oh. Yeah, but it's crap. Like, unless you actually punch people, you don't get a lot out of it. Looks like there's gear up there. Oh, it looks like it just is very, very slow. Alright. That makes sense. Oh, there's people guarding this thing. Alright, that's fine. With my new ability to block things, how could I possibly lose? This camera does get a little out of sync every once in a while. Kind of to be expected. A ceremonial kefir. Yes, I do love me kefirs. Whatever the hell that is. Oh, you brought a friend. Oh, actually, no, never mind. That's a player. Alright. I hate you so very, very much. Ow! Who's bloody duck? Christ. He's got a knife! I would quite like a knife if you don't mind. That's actually a sword. Never mind. Whatever. That'll do. I throws it down with gusto when he goes to meditation. It's like, this is not appropriate for Zen behavior. Not even in the slightest. What I've seen, the pre-order bonuses don't affect gameplay in the slightest. Like, the gear is very easy to acquire. Well, I acquired a shard, which I'm going to assume obviously is attached to abilities and to, you know, heal being one of them. Nah, none of that, mate. I was gonna say, let me try taking on the other guy, but looks like he's got that handled. Look at all that shit you can do. It's pretty cool. I still haven't found the red guy who was supposed to be down in this area. I hate you so very, very much. The bastards will respawn, won't they? That was neat. Look at that. Got a nice cancel out of that. Yeah, because I'm starting to use block more, I'm starting to get feints as well, which is nice. Definitely makes the combat system feel a lot more fluid once you start to learn those aspects. Is he down here? You'd think he'd be like by the harbour or something, but I'm pretty sure I've been down here before. I don't recall him being there whatsoever. Oh, that's three of them. Alright. Well, and one of them's really, really tough. Okay, this is probably not going to go well for me. I'm going to try and eliminate the weaker one first. This damn camera. Definitely not helping the situation. There we go, get some of our heals back from that. You'll notice that a lot of the stamina is going from the blocks, taking those heavy hits. Not really sure how that missed, but it did. There we go. Flow like water. Like, actually properly. Yeah, I think that's kind of how it's supposed to go. If I wasn't bad. I need that heal now. Christ, getting punched in the skull was not exactly my plan. Ah. In the courtyard. Great. I don't know where that is. But thank you for the information on where the boss is in an area that I don't know, in a game that barely has a map. That, yeah. You get the idea. Okay, yeah, it's gonna need some more work off stream, definitely. I think if I was to give an initial impression, if you are the sort of person that needs a open-directed experience, then this is not going to be the game for you. If you are very much somebody that is okay with the discovering things on your own thing, then there's a lot of that here. There's a lot of stuff which is not taught, all that kind of thing. So, yeah, it's... we'll see. I'll put some more time into it off screen, and I'll see where I go from there. I'm gonna take probably a 10-minute break. I'm gonna come back, maybe do a little bit of Rock of Ages 2, as promised. So in the meantime, please do enjoy the sounds of something. I'm sure I can dig something good out. And I will be back with just a little bit of Rock of Ages 2, maybe half an hour or so of that.